Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John. Jesus said to his disciples, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He takes away every branch in me that does not bear fruit, and everyone that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it bears more fruit. You are already pruned because of the word that I spoke to you. Remain in me as I remain in you. Just as a branch cannot bear fruit on its own, unless it remains on the vine, so neither can you, unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever remains in me, and I in him, will bear much fruit, because without me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me will be thrown out like a branch and wither. People will gather them and throw them into a fire, and they will be burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask for whatever you want, and it will be done for you. By this is my Father glorified, that you bear much fruit and become my disciples. The Gospel of the Lord. My brothers and sisters, I'm not going to talk to you about today's Gospel, but I want to talk to you about what we celebrated yesterday, and indeed, as a Catholic Church, what we are celebrating all this year. The 100 years since the apparitions at Fatima in the year 1917. Yesterday, there was a procession and lots of prayers and so on, remembering this occasion. And one of our Franciscan brothers who joined the Franciscan order with me, we had a meeting at La Verna recently, and he gave us this talk, this lecture for 2 hours. So I'm just going to take a few points which he mentioned. I hope I don't get lost, and I hope the few things I'm saying may be helpful to you. In the year 1917, we know that Our Blessed Lady appeared at Fatima to 3 children. One of them was Lucia. And then the other 2, Francisco and Jacinta, were cousins of hers. Lucia herself has just died, she died not so very long ago, at the age of 98. The other 2 children died not very long after the apparitions. They were quite young. But Lucia lived on all these years after these visions of our Blessed Lady. And 6 times our Blessed Lady appeared publicly to the children. And word was going around more and more as Our Lady was appearing in Fatima. And of the 5th revelation of Mary, there were 30,000 people present when Our Lady appeared. Particularly to Lucia. And the children, because all these apparitions took place over a period of years. I'm sorry, I'm just picking and choosing points from here. Pope John Paul II was elected as Pope, and he went to Fatima 3 times. He was the first non-Italian Pope in nearly 500 years. For 500 years there were always Italian popes, and he himself came from Poland. And we know, you remember the story, in 1981, when Pope John Paul was in the middle of St. Peter's Square with hundreds of people all around him, that a man shot him and he was rushed to hospital. The police caught this man and John Paul Pope John Paul. His life was spared, as he himself said,